Week 2, day 5. It's farm animal day. We've got goats on the neighbor's property, the Austrian, keeping the grasses down. We've got cows. Okay, stay tuned. This is now the start of Friday. Okay, we're back. Remember I said that Lynn is scrambling trying to find soil.
Yeah. So I called Barti Construction, and then they can deliver right away. But they have to fill the truck first. The problem with the signal here is really it's cutting out. So I cannot talk to her, consistently. So I have to text her how much is the 7 cubic meter or 15, because she said if we need more they can deliver using the big truck. So I don't know how many cubic meters that.
Yeah.
But I am also asking how much the price is, because when I went there she said that the 7 cubic meter is 3,500 pesos. They're more expensive compared to the other supplier, but the other supplier can only supply us 15 cubic meter per week.
Okay, but that's okay. You've got to think of it more like exchange rates.
Yeah.
When we're doing currencies.
That's right.
Sometimes in Canadian dollars we're trying to be over 40, but if we get 40.2, 40.4, 40.5,
yeah,
then we can sacrifice and get 39.5,
yeah,
39.6 and
yeah,
so on, and it balances out to be 40, which is what our goal is.
Oh, yeah.
So similar to soil, we may have to do that balance. Okay, so it looks like now within a half an hour we've got 3 suppliers going. Okay, so let's give you an update in the pit. So the guys are about halfway up now on the first chamber, which is good. Once you can start seeing shape, it actually looks like shape. Yay! And then, good morning, Mr. Kalafu. They're already starting to put in the first layer on the Daggett facing. And I see they've got stone in already down here too. And we do have soil in place to get started there. So we did have about, half a day of backup soil, but half a day. As a former maintenance planner, that scares me. Okay, so any further updates, Lynn? Or
No, none so far.
no? Okay,
Yeah.
so Lynn's just gonna do her supervisory stuff here. All I can do is communicate to Lynn sort of an order of things, and then she's going around and making sure that the tie and such are sure of what's happening, so that when we're not on the property. I'm going to digress a little bit here and just say that our objective was never to build this house. It was to have an architectural firm come in and build the whole darn thing. But it's pretty clear that unless you're a large project, they just really don't want to do it. We are doing the self-build, but we want to be able to hand off to a on-site foreman that knows exactly where we want soil dumped and all of that type of stuff, because there is longer term picture things going on versus just being a construction site. So the case in point here is this boggy area here. You can see where the truck turned around, and it's quite wet. So we want all this land built up, right? So we are going to be dumping lots of soil in here, and at roughly 25, with a range of up to maybe $35 to $40 per load. That's pretty inexpensive. So because we want to build this all up, this is where the water is coming from. from this big roof. They didn't put a gutter on it, so all of that water is not migrating over here, but it's saturating the soil, right? So our goal is to build it up. We will keep it on the neighbor's property. They can deal with it, and at least it's not going to erode our property. Okay, so we'll give you a new update at roughly lunchtime. And
Okay, ari lang diring bayad? Or muhapit lang ko diha unyang hapon?
Oh.
Ato lang ni COD, pwede na.
COD lang? Oh, sige, sige. Thank you.
Pwede na ka ng kuwanti sa kasaligan ni mo ara. Ibili lang ang bayad sa kanang imong kasaligan ara.
Naara ko diri tibok adlaw, ma'am, until 4.
Sige.
Oo, sige ma'am, salamat kayo. Okay. Karon na no, buntag, sigurado.
Pero nakabalik to duha ko man ang truck sa kuan ma'am sa tinganan ni ay kanang gandang bayan. Ibalik na to, ingo na dayon.
Ay, kalayo pa atong datan tayo.
Okay.
Oh, sige, layo. Sige, sige, okay, mga 30 minutes.
Ko nimo nga kung kudong na ara ang truck.
Oh, text lang ma'am kay usahay, way signal dire. Salamat.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right. The truck that will deliver here is still in Bantayan, and I said,
Oh,
my God,
okay.
it's still so far.
well, okay, so if you're just jumping in on our videos, Anapogue is this limestone pushed up coral, right? Because the islands that we're on are pushed up. Luzon, as an example, is a volcanic island, so it's a different kettle of fish. And the net result is we get this whitish type soil. They call it limestone. It can be very hard, it can be very porous, it can be very soft. It's really a wild card. So anyway, that's what our goal is right now. All of our other supply chain stuff is easy to deal with. We have decided that as soon as we get to 10 bags of cement, we automatically order 20. And then that way if they run short at the store, then they can bring half orders, etc. and keep this supply chain happening because we're storing it in the bunkhouse. Okay, lunchtime is over. The kids I call them kids, young adults of course, are at the front of the property taking down an old dead coconut. I was used to think that coconut wood was such a soft wood, and in many ways it is, but certain parts of it is just like concrete. Okay, so how are we coming inside our septic? There we go. Oh, they're going to put 2 transitions through each side. Okay, and there's the inlet. And it's just going to be capped off for the time being.
Oo, padong na dire.
Dili ma'am, ipapigyan ni sila kay pauna man gud ning kuyang sa project ma'am.
Okay, unya, unsa man ugma pa?
Mapigyan mi kung paano labas pa sa ma'am pa first trip.
Sige.
Truck ma'am.
Sige, what? Oo, pwede ra. Okay, sige, salamat. Basta naa lang yung ugma, ha?
Oh, paano mo bang kay ito sa takop ma'am niya, mapigyan sila ko sa ibalik mo kay tuna biya sa biya mag-3 ma'am.
Bao lagi. Sinuod, ma'am, niya traffic pa. Sige.
Okay, some of you may have caught that they had the pipes coming through this from one chamber to the other incorrectly. The construction guy knew, but this is the correct way. What they had was that they had the T going through from one chamber to the other, but you don't do that. You can see how it's supposed to be done properly here. You grab the clear water, which is below the inlet, right? But it's higher than the scum. I hope that makes sense because there'll be a scum layer on the top, okay? And you only want to grab that clarified water or clearish water and move it from one chamber to the next, so on and so forth, so that the turbidity itself will fall to the bottom, okay? There we go. Okay, we've got that corrected. And that's the way it should look. Okay, so we're ready to wind out our day here. Lynn and I are going to take off early, bump up our supplies a little bit, and we're getting a better rhythm on how much they need out front. Of course, once we figure the rhythm out, they'll be finished. Anyway, so that's no big deal. We received a very disappointing order It's supposed to be a mix. It's nothing but baseball size and larger rock. So we're going to look at getting a leveler in of some sort, whether that's a backhoe or whatever. It's very boggy down there, so we may just leave it there, or we may hire a multi-cab. The guys will just fill up the multi-cab and it'll just run back and forth all day long, because it can fill up that area down in front here, where ultimately we need to add soil anyway. But at least it'll be flat. We don't have any clue at all how we would drive over that. But all that being said, it'll get worked out. Okay, so that's a wrap for week 2, day 5. Day 6 is tomorrow. In the Philippines, it is a 6-day week. Although I'm only asking the guys to work 7.5 hours on this part of the job. Tomorrow, we're gonna cook for them. Okay, anyway, later Gators.